So how should an officer handle a suspect knowing what witnesses have reported?
Well, our Shay Smith sat down with a law enforcement officer who has decades of experience to talk about the arrest and the public's criticism.
Rogers County Sheriff Scott Walton has worked in law enforcement for more than 4 decades. He started in 1980 as a patrol officer for the Tulsa Police Department, and in 2008 he took over as the sheriff of Rogers County. He says after the incident and prior, he got several calls from people wanting to know his thoughts. Sheriff Walton says he believes the officer did everything correctly.
He literally had to turn his back on the people that were videoing him. You know, what if there was a threat behind him? Think what that poor police officer's out there doing in the middle of the night, by himself, without any help, and a lot of people watching, ready to criticize.
The sheriff says dealing with someone who won't comply can be a challenge in itself.
Let's look at it, what if you were the officer? And I mean, what are your options here? The first thing is, I mean, we can't let this guy get back out on the road.
The sheriff says the next challenge the officer faced, a suspect who wouldn't show his hands, something officers and deputies are trained to ask for.
Was the officer too close? I mean, he needs to be close enough that he can see in the vehicle. I mean, I think the video itself tells a great story right there. Can't see the guy's hand. You know, he pulls the door back shut for some reason.
Sheriff Walton says the officer was able to gain control of the situation and take the suspect down quickly, just as they are trained to do.
The officer took him down quick and hard, and you know what? I think that's what it should have been. I mean, it's over with then.
He says it's important for people to put themselves in law enforcement's shoes.
I think the value of the story is the fact that we can, you know, better educate people if they were in this situation of, you know, what goes through this officer's mind, you know, and what should go through that officer's mind is I want to go home to my family tonight.
Sheriff Walton says although people might not have liked what they saw in the video, it was a good outcome.
And we saw a situation last night where a bad guy goes to the ground, gets handcuffed and taken to jail. Everybody goes home, including him.
Sheriff Walton says that he is glad the prior police chief is supporting the officer. In Claremore, Shay Smith, 2 News Oklahoma.